Hey, good morning everyone and welcome to MetaVerse One 2024. It's great to see you here and we will have an exciting day ahead of us. And looking forward for everything the speakers are going to show us. And talking about the speakers, there's so many of them. And I just have to say a huge thank you for all the speakers, 40 plus speakers, our 10 moderators, and some of them are also speakers there for joining us, supporting us. This is a great community, and like some of my friends say, it's a family of people. And so it is indeed the best community in tech. And of course, this community just rocks. So what we have ahead of us today is a lot of content. I calculated it might be something like 24 hours of content, what we are facing. So you will have to pick. We will have 4 rooms, 4 tracks, 4 rooms, and you have different sessions of happening simultaneously. So choose the ones you like. Pick and choose whatever whatever kind of experience you want to make out of MetaVerse One. So there's 36 sessions, and of course we will have a couple of kind of ending keynotes in the end. But like it says, we are fully free and fully community event. So there's no ties of any kind there to corporate things. Okay. So what are the main themes today? And the first one is, of course, that has been flashing there a lot, unlock the future together. It's the future work, how everything is changing all the time. So, and we know it just ties up all the other themes as well, because we know AI is there and it's affecting how we are working. We have to change and adopt new ways of working because we want to succeed in the future. Then we need to keep thinking about the collaboration. And of course, there's a lot of different tools, a lot of different sessions here today that will drop into the future work area. And I mentioned AI, of course. AI and Copilot, who nobody can miss the word Copilot or at least AI these days. So we have content about those, and it's a big thing. We had a great event just happened. Great Microsoft event that just happened Monday, and you will be hearing a bit more about that, affecting all things about the Copilot. So stay tuned there. Jump to the different sessions. There's plenty of those to look around and learn about the latest things on AI and Copilot. And finally, we are MetaVerse One. So of course, the third theme is the metaverse. And the way I see it, AI has been always part of the metaverse. Yeah, metaverse has always been part of the future work. And we are going to have interesting experiences in immersive or augmented realities as well. And if you think about the metaverse now, yes, Copilot is running over a lot. We know Microsoft Mesh is there, and you will be hearing about the Mesh in this keynote and directly from the Mesh product group. But I think the other part of the metaverse is the industrial metaverse and business metaverse, so to say. There are different domains like healthcare, and we have some sessions about industrial metaverse as well. So it's there, it's alive, but AI is slightly cooking up at the moment. But I think I used my time here, so let's get Sharon, you on board.
Morning all, lovely to see you all here. So I just wanted to touch on that event that happened on Monday. So we heard from Microsoft about what's going on. Already we're in wave 2. So major releases coming thick and fast. And I just really like, anyone who knows me, I'm all about that commercial aspect, as Faith was saying. So putting the UI to AI for me, I mean, I think that probably should say for commerce on the end, is all about giving businesses that way to use AI in the tools and within their own universe that is the Microsoft ecosystem. So any of us that are familiar with the Microsoft stack, we keep getting these big wave releases, and this was one of them, and it was quite big. There's quite a few things to talk about. I can't seem to move the slides on, Besa. If you could do that for me. Thank you. And of course, with any Microsoft announcement, those of us that work in the tech stack know that there's going to be a name change. What this is a name alignment, okay? So this is just bringing everything to the Microsoft 365 Copilot brand. And for those of you wondering how exactly we're going to be saying stuff, expect this to be in Flex, okay? And of course, this was just 2 days ago. So if you see slides today that reference the old naming, you know, people haven't had time to change that yet. So please bear with our speakers on that. But as you can see, everything is aligning to the M365 message, as it always does. And we've put the Copilot in on the end for those like PowerPoint, Excel, etc. And that's really the major name change that happened. Could you move on again? Thanks. Service-wise, there were announcements in each of these key service areas. So we've got videos on each of these. And again, there's a session later where we can deep dive into these. For me, the exciting one is PowerPoint, because I think it really needed some new features. But there's quite a lot across the board. And I'll let some of my other colleagues tell you in a little bit more detail on the keynote exactly what's coming. Matty.
All right. Hello, everyone, from my side as well. I will raise a couple of things which are at least interesting for me, but you can of course react and show your kind of a excitement on these features. So the first one, Vesku is not allowing me to change the slides. No worries. But first one is the business chat. This is quite familiar to you if you have been using Copilot earlier in the chat phase, but business chat will extend it even further. So in the future, you can, of course, ground the web data, your work data, if you have the license, and also all the business data you have been connecting to the Copilot. So it's kind of one platform where you can discuss over your business data, find information on different systems, for example, your CRM, ERP, and so on. Works also when you don't have the Copilot license, but then you are just grounding for the web data, nothing more. Moving forward, when you have actually get some good results and want to start working with your colleagues about the results you have gotten from Copilot, you can now create Copilot pages, which is a kind of a canvas for you and your coworkers and AI to work together. So you can easily bring information from Copilot to the Copilot page, which you see on the right side, and start working with it, tag your colleagues, and start collaborating over the page. And you can use Copilot to bring even more information from your work, from web, and from the business data. And it's a flexible canvas, so you can see all the changes right away happening inside of the kind of a Copilot chat. And it will be a loop page. Technical details will follow on the later sessions, maybe. And the final third one, which I think is interesting, I have been working with SharePoint for over 15 years. So I'm still a fan of SharePoint, but creating those Copilot agents, we saw a glimpse of these on Build, that you can easily create your own Copilot by selecting your data. It can be folders, files, full document library, and just with one click, you create your own Copilot then. And you can share that Copilot, for example, on Teams chat, and start working with it together. It's kind of a one team member which knows all of this data you have selected. Little personalization, you can give it a name, a logo, give some starter prompts. But then if you need to create more value, more intelligence, you can bring more and extend it with Copilot Studio. Public preview, I guess, will be available somewhere in October, so you can start trying it out. And this requires, of course, my Copilot license there. And those were kind of my 3 points, but let's hear more from Adam there.
Yeah, thank you, Matti. So Matti and Sharon have been talking about the Copilot Wave 2 announcement happening this Monday here. And if you want to hear more about this, we will actually host a roundtable session, me, Sharon, and Vesa. It's going to start at the 3 p.m. CEST time zone. You can check the schedule for additional time zones there, of course. It's going to be run in room 1. So I really recommend that if you want to hear more about it. And of course, you're free to jump in and ask questions and so forth and participate as well. Thank you. Over to you again, Vesku.
Yes, thank you, Adam. Okay, for the next one, I was mentioning about the mesh. And we have a special video directly from Mesh Leadership, talking from John Campbell. And he is a director of product management there. And he will be telling us a bit about future work, but especially what Mesh is delivering now. And we are going to be seeing something that's coming from there really soon. Okay, let me get the video rolling. And
hello, and welcome to MetaVerse One. I'm John Campbell, Director of Product Management for Microsoft Mesh, and I'm really excited to be here. This is part of the best community in tech, and I really love these community events, and particularly with Immersive, given how early the space is. There's so much momentum coming from the community. So it's really a pleasure and a privilege to be here with all of the true believers and enthusiasts for immersive technologies. Now, I know we're all still waiting for a hockey stick moment for immersive tech to really start to sort of hit a large scale point in the industry. And we're not quite there yet, but I'm very, very bullish on the future of the space. Large trends like this, they take time. If you remember, it wasn't that many years ago when people were questioning the notion of the cloud. But now there's very little debate about the cloud's role in helping to do compute as a service, hitting a scale that really makes the economics viable with a stronger security stance where all of your information is available on demand. AI is another huge emerging trend. It's undergoing its hockey stick moment right now. AI had multiple AI winters going back decades, actually. And now we're really seeing huge breakthroughs there and watching it change the game in terms of how people play, how they communicate, and how they get work done faster. And so immersive is still taking shape. It's still early. It's moving forward with a lot of exciting new hardware that's coming out across the industry. It's got potential to create new experiences that impact not just how we have fun, if you think about consumer VR, but also in terms of how people communicate and get work done in enterprises. And so on that note, I wanted to focus on immersive technology and its role in enterprise. And let's start by taking a look at some of the work trends that are happening around the industry. So industry data shows us that customers want and need new ways to connect. Hybrid work offers flexibility, but people still want that in-person collaboration and sense of connection. The Work Trend Index here shows us that 73% want more flexible options, 67% want more face-to-face time. So you have this hybrid paradox that brings new challenges, and staying connected is tough. Nearly 70% of leaders struggle with team cohesion, and employees can feel disconnected, risking engagement and retention. And so if we drill a little further and take a look at the evolving role of the office space, we can see that in-person time is an important part of work, but leaders need to understand what motivates people to go in. Our global survey revealed that people come in for each other. Connecting with colleagues is a key motivation for working in person. We saw that 84% of employees would be motivated by the promise of socializing with coworkers, and 85% are motivated by rebuilding those team bonds. So there's clearly an opportunity for building stronger connections and collaboration in the enterprise. And if you look at the trends over time and think about what's coming next for work, if you remember how audio calls connected us globally, and then came video, helping us overcome the barriers of social distancing, and now digital connection is evolving even more beyond audio and video to spatial interaction. So new immersive technology moves us past the grid view, making virtual connections feel more like in-person ones. And immersive spaces create a real sense of presence, sparking spontaneous conversations, deeper connections, And it presents new ways to tell stories and to share and spatialize your content. You'd be surprised how coming together in 3D helps people open up compared to 2D virtual meetings. And so this brings us to Microsoft Mesh. I want to talk for a few minutes about Mesh, and I'll give a short overview. I'm imagining most folks at the conference are probably pretty familiar, and then I'll talk about actually what we can see looking ahead. And so Microsoft Mesh really has three different experiences. It starts with avatars, which is a new type of presence that's available in Teams. And then there's also, you can collaborate in new ways with the immersive spaces that are in Teams. And then also you can host custom events or much larger events using the Microsoft Mesh PC app, which comes with Teams Premium. And so let's touch on each one of those super briefly now. So starting with avatars for Teams, you can add a new layer of choice in your meetings. You can create your avatar before your meeting to foster a strong relationship and social connections, have fun, meaningful interactions, and help maintain a sense of presence where maybe in times you don't want your camera on, but you want a better sense of representation than just a set of initials or an image. And of course, our avatar comes with a very rich customizer. You can create with 3 different avatars. You can augment the skin tone, hair, face shape, and so on. Dress them up in different wardrobes to kind of match your mood for that day. And then, of course, there's immersive spaces in Teams. You can join either from a PC or from a VR headset. And this really is something you can use in any of your smaller team meetings. You just go up to the drop down like is shown in the video here. You can choose to go into the immersive mode. And then you have that deeper sense of connection where you can move around in the environment. You can use things like spatial audio to have side chats. And then, of course, if there are others in the team meeting that aren't in the virtual space, it's okay because you have an area where you can see all of the video feeds and you can see all of the content that's being displayed and discussed in the meeting. Your chat is still there. So you really lose nothing there. But for people that choose to opt in, you get this deeper sense of connection. And then, of course, there's Microsoft Mesh for your larger or more custom events available as part of Teams Premium. So here you can take that immersive experience to the next level. It's available as a PC app from the Windows Store and also from the MetaQuest Store if you want to use it in a headset. And it's really designed for larger events. You get more attendees per event. You can choose from pre-configured environments or create your own. There's a no-code editor that allows sort of every presenter to easily and quickly add images or videos or text or other artifacts to really dress that 3D space up and make it their own. And of course, if you want way more flexibility, you can use the Unity-based Mesh toolkit, and then you sort of get the ultimate expressivity, and you can build fully custom environments with custom scripting and physics behaviors and so on. It integrates with Microsoft 365 admin portal, and it leverages Entra ID and the M365 platform if you think about identity, access, compliance, and security. And I did mention this is for larger events, so you can have hundreds of people there. And the way it works is we achieve some of that scale by virtually segmenting those attendees into different virtual rooms. And everybody across every room obviously can hear and see the presenter. There's production controls where the presenter can call on different people no matter what room they are in. So if they raise their hand, they can call on them, and then everybody across the event can hear the questions and the answers and so on. And so there's a lot of great ways that we see customers adopting and starting to use Mesh. There are pretty straightforward event scenarios like your all hands meetings or maybe a panel discussion where you're doing Q&A with multiple speakers. New employee onboarding is a big scenario we see from folks. So imagine cohorts of new employees joining. You can envision kind of a custom space where people can come in there, meet each other as they're starting to work, learn about the mission and the values of the company, start building those connections really early on. And then, of course, leveraging the Mesh toolkit in Unity, there can be various scavenger hunt or other fun activities people can do to really start fostering some of that connection and learning. Training is another great use case. We see people taking 3D models of equipment and creating trainings where people learn how to use them, or just learning content or different materials that they need. Guided tours and demos. Imagine a large space with an event. It's almost like a demo floor or something at a physical conference where people can walk through in groups. There could be guided tours. They can go through solo, stop and connect with other people, look at different content that's around the environment. And so there are these are the types of cases that are really, really hard to emulate with just a pure 2D offering. And social gatherings is another one. You can imagine events where before the presentation starts, people are leveraging spatial audio and chatting and mixing together, forming some of those bonds and connections. And so now let's talk about looking ahead for Mesh. Our team's been really busy focusing on bringing more magic to Mesh, solving different issues that customers have been telling us about. And I wanted to just touch on a few highlights. I'm not going to do a deep roadmap review here, not really talking about dates, but just want to give people a sense of things that are going to be coming soon. Some of the stuff I'll show is going to be available imminently. Other stuff is still a few months away. And we'll also talk about things that are maybe even further in the future. But really things I wanted to highlight is, doing work to build a better connection between the presenter and the audience for those event scenarios. We've got a new environment that we're really excited about. We're trying to bring M365 apps and productivity into Mesh for smaller meeting scenarios around brainstorming and collaboration, advancements we're making in representation, and even more. And so the first thing I want to talk about is building that stronger connection with presenter and audience. And so here, as I mentioned before, we've got those virtual rooms. And the presenter, we want when they're presenting to the audience to be able to see all of the emotes and the reactions across those rooms. So hosts can see all of that. And another thing that happens across rooms, of course, is people raise their hands and have a question. We're bringing the ability for hosts to see that in 3D across multiple rooms and large events. So if somebody raises their hand, they'll appear as if they were in the virtual room you're in, and you can call on them right there. And on that theme of connecting with your audience, one of the things we heard from customers in previous versions of Mesh were presenters and organizers and co-organizers, they start out in the green room and they can run the entire presentation from there. But really we wanted to bring more of that audience, that energy to the presenter. And so we're introducing room hopping soon, and that allows that deeper connection with the audience. So now a presenter can choose to see who are in different virtual rooms and sort of move there virtually so they have the audience in front of them during the presentation. And so here's a little video snippet showing that. The presenter just chooses a room and sort of virtually moves there. And this all can happen seamlessly during the presentation. And then whoever happens to be in that other room, in the video it's a pretty small group, but they can go in that room and see them, socialize and interact directly with their audience in real time. And we've got new environments we're really excited about. One that's coming up really soon is an environment that's specifically designed to enable immersive breakout session. It is beautiful with a central gathering space. It's ideal for group presentations. And it's got 4 separate breakout rooms on the sides for individual workshop moments. So it's a great way to collaborate. And if you think about productivity, which I'll talk about in a minute, this is a great space to start bringing some of those artifacts into the experience. And on that theme of productivity and what you might do in a project collaboration room, you need your content. You need your M365 apps. And so we have web slates today in Mesh. And if you're a Unity developer, you can put a web slate in the environment. We're going to bring those as just first-party no-code objects that your presenters can insert. And so you can put web slates and bring an interactive web content where you can authenticate and show content there in a real-time way. And then also we can use that to bring the M365 web apps into the experience as well. And one of the apps that we hear a lot about, we've gotten a lot of asks for, obviously, in the productivity space, is the whiteboard. So Microsoft Whiteboard is a great tool for brainstorming, for planning and collaboration. And it's amazing to do it in a 3D space in real time. And so you can imagine these workshop style environments where you've got a big whiteboard. People can come in there and collaborate on it with you, put sticky notes and images and so on. And it really helps bring some of these 3D immersive technologies to the next level. And looking ahead, we've got improvements coming to the representation as well. There are new avatar reactions. One of the pieces of feedback we heard from customers in the past was sometimes it would take too long to find the reaction to have your avatar remote kind of in the moment. So if you take a look at the video, you can see we've changed the UI and brought those reactions to where you are, making it easier and faster so you can emote and react in real time and express yourself. So another thing we're really excited about is AI-enabled avatar creation. You can get a more authentic avatar that looks more like you faster just by turning on your camera or uploading a photo. And so there you can see you can turn on the camera, upload a photo. By the way, this is compliant, so the photo or the feed is not used for anything, and it's not stored anywhere or retained for any other purposes. But the AI will automatically generate 3 different avatar versions that look a lot like you, and then you can go forward and customize the wardrobe and then get into that 3D experience much, much more quickly. And continuing on that theme of AI guides is something we've gotten a lot of asks from customers about. During build, we showed new capabilities in the Mesh Unity toolkit that allow you to hook up an AI and take input and give it to your LLM, get text back. And people really want to connect this to the avatar system. So you get these kind of virtual experts or virtual guides that sort of can answer company-specific or domain-specific questions and really be that expert. Allow them to sort of move around in the space and be almost a virtual tour guide. And if you think about AI and all the possibilities here, looking farther out into the future, it's really easy to imagine a lot of exciting opportunities around things like AI's ability to help you run an event and kind of be a virtual producer to help you monitor your event and run it or help connect users into it. There's clear opportunity for AI to help you customize a space in an event. So if you think about the time it takes to load those images and those different objects or place them in the 3D environment, you could imagine a system where AI makes that so much faster and easier, up to and including even modifying the environment itself. And so, carving out new pieces of the 3D models, changing how the walls look or the windows look or the shape of different artifacts that are in the environment. I mean, there's just a ton of possibility of where we can go with Copilot, with AI, to really make the 3D immersive experiences just much, much more expressive. There's just a few other things that I want to touch on that are coming. One is we are increasing our limit from 3 to 5 for simultaneous broadcasters. So those events where there's lots of questions or maybe a Q&A panel discussion are going to get easier to do. We're also introducing higher scale. So previously Mesh was capped at 200 attendees per event. That number is going to go up to 330. And we're introducing the ability soon to revisit past events. So we've had a lot of customers ask to allow employees to get back in the same event in the future. So if you think about those new employee onboarding where people came and met each other, now in the future they can just drop back in that space and see who's hanging out there and go and continue some of those connections. And then we're introducing guest access. And this is really important for those business to business scenarios where you want to invite attendees from other companies into the Mesh space and allow them to see the content. We want to make sure we get the authentication, security, and privacy right to enable that. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is we want to take more of the Mesh capabilities, like larger events or custom events, and just integrate that much, much more deeply into Teams. And so stay tuned. You're going to see a lot more of these great experiences start lighting up in Teams over time. Okay, and with that, I just wanted to thank you for your time. It's time for me to wrap up. Visit mesh.com to learn more about anything that I've shared in the presentation. And I hope everyone has a great time at the conference.
Okay, that was some exciting news about Microsoft Mesh. And I really love the promise of the AI guides and how AI will tie onto the virtual reality and how you can use it, of course, as a kind of a sparring partner, or conversational partner, but also as a just kind of tool that you can use to interact with. But I think it's time to head towards the Adam's part. Adam, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Yeah, some great stuff there from John Campbell. Thank you so much for that. But we saved the best for last, right? The housekeeping. So we're going to start off with some code of conduct here. I think these are obvious things for me at least. This is 100% community-driven event. So we really kindly ask you to avoid any kind of use of profanity and avoid conflict. And we, of course, have a zero tolerance policy against any kind of discrimination. So if you hear or see this anywhere during the event, please just contact any moderator or organizer. And we will end this slide with, please be nice to each other. moving forward, there's a lot of things going on today. We have 4 rooms concurrently with sessions during the day. We have around 36 sessions and 40 plus speakers, and it's gonna be going on for 12 hours. So it's a long day with a lot of great content. And we have 4 rooms, and you can see the links here on the right-hand side. And you can, of course, feel free to jump around between them, looking into the schedule and select your favorite sessions to watch, and then you can go into each respective room. All sessions are run by Microsoft Teams meetings, so it's very simple. Most of the sessions will be recorded and will be available shortly after the event on our YouTube channel. You can see the link there as well. The link will be posted in the chat in the sessions during the day as well, of course. If you have any questions during the sessions, you can use raise your hand feature to ask questions. The moderators in each room will explain kind of how, and the speakers decide how they want to handle questions, if they want to ask questions during the session, or if they prefer to ask to answer questions after the session. So that could differentiate between the sessions, so to speak. And I also want to promote our closing keynote, delivering business value and user satisfactions in the era of AI. Will be held by the director of Microsoft 365 Customer Advocacy Group, Caruana Gattimo from Microsoft. Will be held in the end of the day here. You can see the time zones there as well on the slide, and it will be held in room 1. So don't miss out on that one. All right, I mentioned the moderators. We have 4 rooms going on during today, and every room will have a moderator helping out the speakers and as you as attendees as well, of course. So if you have any questions, any technical issues or anything like that, you can always ask the moderators for help. They will also continuously post good links to have information and code of conduct and so on during the sessions. All right, so a little bit about feedback and calls to action. We really appreciate if you're attending this event and the sessions that you provide feedback. We have a feedback survey you can access from here. That will also be posted by the moderators at the end of every session as well. It's very valuable to both the speakers and us as organizers as well to do a great job to get feedback from you. So we value that a lot. So please do that. And of course, as I already mentioned, we have 4 rooms going on. Attend every session you want, look into the schedule and jump around between the rooms. And hopefully we will see you at the end keynote with Caruana at the end of the day. And of course, feel free to promote this event and any session you might attend on social media channels. And you can see there the hashtag as well to use. And we really appreciate that if you do that. All right, and almost last here, thank you so much, all the attendees, but also all the moderators and speakers, of course, to make this possible. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you, all of you that are here today, making this event possible. With that, what's next? Also, of course, we need to get ready to jump into, you can stay in this room, of course, because there will be sessions in here as well, but there are 3 other rooms. And next up, we can see here in room 1 at 10 o'clock CEST. You can also see the time zones there on the left. We have the real return of investment of Copilot with Peter. In room 2, we have build an immersive Copilot in Microsoft Mesh using Unity, .NET, and Azure AI Services by Saeed and Christian. In room 3, we have a Microsoft 365 Copilot, security risks and how to protect your data with Dr. Abhilasha. And in room 4, we have Create Art Library Power Apps Canvas for students using Dell E Customer Connector with Shushby. All right, so it's time to jump into the rooms in their selected sessions. So let's go. Thank you.